All right, guys. So today what I'm going to be doing is making a recording, going over kind of my workflow with Substance Painter. We'll see how far I get on it. But you can utilize this to basically set up your Substance Painter project and export out files. This will cover stuff that we've already talked about before in previous ones, but maybe it's just a little more updated for you guys. All right, let's go to share screen. Okay. I'm gonna move this kind of somewhere. Okay. All right. So right here is a small environment that I created. It's for the film I'm working on called The Adventures of Pango. It's actually a cockpit. So you can see inside it's a cockpit for a spaceship, but it's a kind of a modeled after like a 1980s Oldsmobile car, something that's it's kind of old and retro. So it's got kind of an older, maybe like a Lincoln style control scheme with the two big sticks off the sides, the dials. It's got some older style seats, which these are actually modeled off of the Millennium Falcon. He's got a drink cup in here, gear shift knob, old style radio, keys with key fob on it. So it's a fun kind of older style cockpit. Even got a rear view mirror on here for some reason. Can't see anything, but there's a rear view mirror. So I'm gonna go through and just kind of check the UVs on these. We'll start exporting them out, and I'll talk about how I kind of group things when it comes to creating UVs, okay, or creating basically material IDs for Substance Painter, okay. So let's start off with the first piece. First thing I'm actually going to do is grab everything. I'm going to go to Modify, Freeze Transformations, and I pop that thing out. I need to do that. Oh, probably because something. I don't know. That's kind of odd. Well, anyway, I'm going to do freeze transformations on these pieces. Freeze, freeze. Freeze. Okay, so just make sure everything has frozen transformations. And let's check UVs and see how they look. I honestly don't remember if I've UV'd this already or not, but we will see. Okay, so the main body has been UV'd. Looks fine, looks good. What about this piece? Okay. So this has been UV, but it's not been laid out yet. So I'm gonna go and grab these UVs and hit Control L, and that should lay them out. Well, that looks like this shell needs to be scaled down a little bit. And then this one. Let's see, I need to get you. There we go. See if we can get this to lay out again. Okay. Okay. Let's move them over. Move this over. I'm just going to place this back here. And then the door is going to go right here. And then I'm going to take this piece. And this is just the second part of the door. It just minimally slides in and out. So that'll be a UV shell by itself, or that'll be a single material ID. Okay. Chairs, you'll see they're pretty high poly. These are actually made in ZBrush. And the reason why is these are actually made for 3D printing for a project for a model that I actually do sell. So I'm just kind of incorporating these 3D prints into here. Honestly, I would not recommend normally trying to work with these just because something this high poly, just because it is just so many faces. So I would not even really attempt to even try to UV this with normal manual means. So hopefully I have already UV'd this, which it looks like I did. So I did an automatic UV on this guy just to kind of split it up and make it just go a whole lot easier. You could also do a ZBrush UV as well, which probably would give you a better overall shape, which I don't have ZBrush on this computer, but I'll tell it to fix. But if you do the ZBrush unfold, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, it actually does a halfway decent job, so you can give that a shot and see. Now, the reason why it's not a big deal on this one is since we're going to be taking this into Substance, I'm not really worried about any sort of seams on this, just simply because it's all going to be painted in here. So I'm pretty okay with it not having the greatest UVs. But this is like totally paintable if you had to take it into Photoshop. Okay, maybe not totally paintable, but it's kind of paintable. So we'll just leave that. These will be a singular piece as well. All right, let's look at this one. Honestly, I don't think this one has UVs. Yeah, it doesn't have UVs. So I need to re-UV this. This will be pretty easy. Let's do a camera-based. And then I'm going to go ahead and take basically all the faces right here. So these faces I'm actually going to re-UV from the side. And basically this just allows me to cut it up a lot more easily. And we will cut it up from here. Actually, it's going to be less likely to view a seam from here. So let's do it this way. Yeah, so we'll cut the back off that way. So we'll cut and sew. And wrap the UV shell. Let's do unfold. There we go. Grab this, and I need to select an edge to cut. So we'll do this piece, cut, unfold, boom, there we go. All right, it's not the greatest. Let's fix this. I feel like this could be a little bit better. Cut, unfold, unfold. Let's cut this piece also. Let's do this one. I just wanted to relax a little bit better. Unfold. There we go. That looks a lot nicer. All right, we're going to take this and this, hit Control L, lay them out. And actually, I'm going to end up grouping this with other pieces. This is not a large part of the cockpit, so it actually is perfectly fine if it's kind of mixed in with some other UVs. And I'm trying to kind of gather stuff together that can kind of be UV'd as one piece. So I might put that into something else. This is a sphere. It's actually going to be a holographic projection ball. It's already got a UV set on it. This guy right here should have a UV. Yeah, so this was the main console. What else? This piece right here is like a little piece. Okay, so that does not, this does not actually have a UV on it. It technically does, but it's garbage. So we don't want that UV. So I want to do a nice, even camera-based UV, which is going to look good. And then we are going to, let's do this one. I'm going to cut basically the bottom off and just fold it out. Cut, unfold, boom. Shrink it down a little bit. Okay, that's going to get mixed in with the reason why I did a freeze transformation, so I can easily put stuff back. This is going to get mixed in with the shell here for the basically the rest of the center console. This piece here probably did not have one yet, so we're going to do UV, camera based, and then we will do one since it's not going to be visible. Yeah, we're going to be doing places. We're going to be putting in seams where people cannot see it. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll do that. UV, cut, unfold, boom. Okay. All right, gear shift knob. So we'll do another UV. This one, let's just do that again. And then we'll do a seam on the back side where the camera probably won't be. Cut, and then unfold, see? And if you want to, we could actually just do another cut and kind of relax this a little bit more. See, just like that. Okay. All right, let's look at the cup and straw. So let's do another UV, camera based, boom. And then we're going to take this piece. Basically do the same thing again. We're just going to go ahead and cut, grab everything, unfold it, see how it looks. Just grab these, since it's kind of warping pretty badly down here. I'm going to cut each one of these, unfold. There we go. And then let's do straw. Unfold. There we go. All right. Let's find out if I have done this one at all. Nope. Okay. So again, I'm going to do this based on the camera position. And this one's kind of getting a bit complex for the just doing automatic or basically just cutting apart, but we got some simple edge loops that we can use to kind of cut this apart just a little bit. Just make it a little bit easier for us to work with. So let's do this edge loop. That might not work. Let's do this one. Okay. Then we're going to do that one. So this should cut it into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. We're going to do a cut. Move this piece out here. Unfold that. Let's save real quick. Sometimes it crashes during unfolding, which isn't the greatest thing ever. Unfold, 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 unfold. There we go. Okay. Which one is the front? Which one's the back? That's the front. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and stitch. And then I'm going to do sew tool. Just going to sew those back. And then we will do that again. Should be this. Stitch. Sew tool. There you go. So at least you got part of this back together. It looks like a weird looking TIE fighter. And on the back side, I'm not really going to worry about. Let's unfold it again. Okay, looks good. Unfold, looks good. Okay. All right, so the center horn, let's do another one. Actually, let's make it, there we go. This is definitely going to be, I don't need that. Come on. There we go. There we go. I'm going to make the seam back here. Go back. Cut. I'm just going to seam this. Unfold this. Let's grab both of these. Unfold. Okay. So those are both unfolded. Okay. Again, I'm not worrying super heavily about placement right now. I'm just trying to get everything done quickly because it's not going to be a big deal. We're going to do placement in a second once I start grouping things more together. So let's take this one, and this one, and we'll just do all three of these at once. All right, UV, camera based, boom. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and take these pieces, just do Control L to get them out of the way. We will need to unfold them. So let's go ahead and do a back edge right here. And we will cut. Do another cut. I'm just hitting G, by the way. There we go. So all three of these are cut. And let's grab each one of these. Okay. And then do a Control L for this. For these three pieces, actually, let's just do an automatic because they're pretty simple. And then these all three, let's just do a layout real quick. So there we go. We just got all three of these out. And that's done. I think I just got the radio to work with and the pedals. Pedals will be easy. Let's just do automatic. Just get them out of the way. Looks good. Looks like it's cutting out a lot of pieces. Actually, it looks fine for where the posts or for the levers that the pedals are on, but actually I think I'd rather just have camera based. And just unfold it. Do another cut. And this one. Okay. And cut. And then we'll just go and unfold. Boom. And then layout. And then we'll do layout again. Okay, there we go. All right. Save every once in a while. Okay. All right. This will be the radio box. Let's do an automatic. Let's just do automatic for all of these. Okay. Let's get through them. And then auto layout. So we got all of our buttons and stuff here. So the buttons and everything, like I am thinking about like how they're actually going to be arranged and how they're going to be, what textures will be painted on them. So with like these little buttons, they're just going to be like little orange buttons. That's all they are. The only thing that really needs any real estate is probably going to be the screen right here. And then that's really the only thing that we need to be able to see. And that one is going to have, it's going to have a little bit of real estate. Should be able to paint a texture onto it, so it should be fine. All right, because we can do a lot of projection type stuff on there. So I think we have everything. Let's do these lights right real quick. I'll do an automatic. Okay. Okay. See if we can get this to lay out a little bit better for us. Part of the issue is that this is actually parented under the mount that it's on, so it could be causing a little bit of an issue with the way we're selecting this. Okay. There we go. So I just unparented the objects from each other, and then redid the layout. All right, so here comes us grouping objects by material type or whatever. Basically just how we're going to kind of export this all out and want it to show up in substance under different material IDs. So the first one, we want to make sure everything's named first. So you want to just name, you know, your pilot chair, co-pilot chair, you know, make sure where everything like that is named. We're going to go ahead and just start assigning Lambert. And so I'm just going to assign a Lambert to the first object. I'm going to do this individually with parts that are being laid out together. Okay, so like this right here has been laid out as one piece, and I intend to paint it as one piece. So I'm going to go and put a Lambert on that. These are going to be laid out as a Lambert. These were painted together. So I'm going to go put them together as a Lambert. Oh yeah, these little chair stands. Let's do an automatic UV real quick. We'll do chair mount right. Chair mount left. And we will assign these as Lamberts. And like, I'm not going to use any of these Lamberts when we get back into Maya. It's just simply just as a placeholder for the name. All right, this piece by itself is going to be a Lambert. This will be a Lambert. The cup, straw, gearbox, gear shifter, actually, I don't think I did the sticks yet. All right, let me do the radio. I'm not doing this little piece. This is actually going to be like a little holographic, like light up screen. So I'm actually not going to be incorporating it into substance. It's going to be set up when it comes back. So that's going to get a Lambert. That doesn't need a Lambert. Let's do these pieces. Let's do this piece by itself. That's going to be, just do automatic again. And then I'm also going to give it, let's do that one as Lambert. Okay. Lambert. Okay, so we're going to do the pedals. Those are all, excuse me, put together in their UV space. Those are going to be a Lambert as well. The keys. Let's do this one as an automatic. Lambert. Actually, let's do the keys together. Actually, let's do just go into UV all of this, do automatic, and then this is going to be a Lambert on its own. Each one of the keys, and the key ring, are going to be Lambert also. So I'm just kind of grouping all these, kind of how I'm thinking I'm going to arrange them in substance. So like similar objects or like-minded objects, whatever, will be in the same quote unquote layer or group of objects that'll be painted. This also means that they'll be sharing the same texture maps. So the same displacement, or not displacement, well, it could be the same displacement, the same diffuse, the same bump map, specular map, base color map, roughness, stuff like that. So that's all going to be contained. All right, it's going to save this and delete all by type. Do you have a Lambert? Let's give you a Lambert too. I forgot to give you a Lambert. I mean, it has Lambert 1, but I want to make sure it has its own Lambert. Because if any of these share Lamberts, incidentally, they will end up on the same UV space. So let's go ahead and take all of the objects. Again, save it. Just make sure we don't screw something up. Make sure you have a project folder set up. So you can see right here, mine is set up into the film that I'm working on. So you got to make sure you have a project folder set up for this. And we're going to go to export selection. I'm going to export it as a OBJ export. And I'm going to put this into my environments, Cockpit. Name it Cockpit Geo All. Okay. And hopefully that'll work. If something has not been UV'd, you may run into problems with it. So just make sure you get everything UV'd before you bring it over. So let's open up Substance Painter. Excuse me. I'm tired. All right, let's go to File, take a look for some stuff. Okay, so we'll see if this works. Okay. Cool, there it is. And so what you'll see is basically all the shaders that we applied, all the different Lamberts, are going to be all in here. These are all different layers. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this off of, I just want 3D view. There we go. So there's all of our objects. We can kind of test and see what's what. We got some stuff stuck on, what's on the, oh, okay, steering column. That's fine. It's good enough for this video anyways. If you have problems, just go back, change it, export out the geometry, and it'll be fine when it comes back in. All right, so what you want to do is go in and name all of these to their respective pieces. And it's important that you do go in and actually rename all these. The reason why is if you don't, and you export these texture maps out, you are going to have probably 30 different ones that are named Lambert, and you're not going to have any idea what the hell some of this stuff is. So you want to make sure you do name it. What are these? Are these probably keys or something like that? Oh, it's the wheel, we call it wheel horn. Is this the radio? Yep. Radio. body. And actually, if you want to, you can name these, you can rename the subgroups or the shader groups in Maya, and it will come in with those names. What are you? What does this go to? Edit something small. There we go. Key fob. Keys. Okay. Not sure exactly what he would do with the rear view mirror. Maybe it's like a camera monitor or something he can use. That's kind of the idea I was thinking of when I put it in. Or these little lights. Chairs. Chair mount. Console. There we go. All right, just gonna save this real quick. Cool. All right, so what you want to do is we need to go in and set up our texture maps. So I'm going to go into, I'm sorry, mesh maps. I'm going to bake new mesh maps. I'm going to do for all of these. Output size, so it's fine the way they are. We will just want to go ahead and just do basically for everything. So just go through, let it do its thing. Again, these are good for making sure world space is correct. When we are trying to figure out some of the procedural stuff, as well as scale and, you know, image occlusion and stuff like that. So I'll just give it a couple minutes. Okay. All right. All right, looks a little different. So let's go and start adding in some materials here. So I was kind of wanting to make this look a little bit like again, like an older style um, car interior. So let's take a look at some of this stuff and see what's going on. I do have an issue, it looks like here on the back door with possibly some bad UVs. I'm not sure what's going on there. It could honestly just be the way the model's made that's causing that weirdness, but we'll get to that. Okay. So let's go and actually start off by addressing the chairs. So I'm gonna switch over to the chair portion. Let's go into layer. And I want to do, let's take a look at the material types, because I'm kind of thinking like between like a leather and a cloth. So I'm just going to do a search for fabric material and see what we kind of got working here. So we got some older fabric, some camo. That might be kind of interesting. What do you have looking for? Synthetic fabric. This is like a canvas, so this might actually work kind of well. And then this is, I do like the stitching on this one. So actually, let's go with this bamboo. And take a look at that. Ooh, okay. It's interesting. It's not exactly what I'm wanting, but we can work with this. So the way that I want this to be projected is not necessarily over the UVs, because that looks kind of grungy, but we could do it as a triplanar, and that's going to give us a little more of a uniform projection in terms of scaling issues. And then what we can do is take, since this is a procedurally generated material, it's not a smart material, we can do triplanar, and then we can also change the scale to something like 5, and that looks a little bit more like fabric. So something else, let's change that to 10, see how that looks. It's not bad, it can maybe work. Let's go ahead and take the texture set settings. It's set down to 1024 now. I'm going to jump it up to 4096. You'll see it's taking a second to render it, but it'll show us what it'll look like. And that's not half bad, honestly. I think that could work. Color-wise, I'm not really liking it. So let's change the color. For this, I think maybe like a darker brown. And I do actually just make sure my computer is going to run a little bit faster. Let's go and drop this down to 2048. It doesn't matter like really where you set it at in terms of resolution. It's just going to run a little bit faster if you set it a little bit lower. So we will do maybe something right around here. Yeah, I think kind of like that actually. And then what we could do is add a new layer, do something like a paint. And we could do some like staining or something like that. Actually, let's do a little bit of grime and dirt. So I'm going to do a fill layer, and that fill layer is going to be black. And then I'm gonna add a black mask to it. I'm gonna go to generator. This is just a real like standard. Where's there it is. We're gonna do just a real standard dirt creator or creation with this. Just gonna bring down the dirt. So you'll see it just kind of pops out a lot more of the detail. We can bring down the contrast here so it's not as obvious. It's just gonna make it look a little more worn. Versus something like that. Like that's just way too, almost looks like ink. A little bit worn. So something like that. And then I was thinking we could do a painted layer on top with a particles brush. We will do maybe like a stain, like a coffee stain or something like that. Just want a good color. I don't want normal roughness, even like that. We're just gonna make a nice coffee stain. Color is gonna be let's go to yellow, orange. Something will pop up. And then I think it's gonna be either fill or puddle. I think puddle will probably work. So I'm just gonna do a real simple. So you see it's kind of like gathering in the crevices right there. It's not exactly what I'm wanting. Let's try maybe do like a little bit like a liquid stream. So it's getting a bit much for me. So let's go back to the brush. Let's give us a little bit more room to work with. Okay. Parameters of, there we go. So it's going to have a spawn spread. Let's change that to like 0.05 so it doesn't spread that far. Particle life, let's just do like 0.5 seconds. 0.2 for velocity. Particle opacity, particle life. Let's bring that down to like a 0.2. There we go. So it's gonna be a little bit easier to work with, I think. There we go. So it's a little more of a stain right there. Maybe there's like a stain that just kind of got right here at some point. And we go a little bit dark with that color. Just adds a little bit more character to this chair. Back here, I'm imagining Pango. I think she probably drinks quite a bit of coffee and has spilled it. Of course, you know, if you're gonna spill coffee, it's gonna basically go right down the center, since that's where we're, you know, where the legs are not hitting. So something like that. And then we'll do another paint layer. This one's just gonna be, I want to do kind of like a stressing stitch line where, you know, when you're rubbing on cloth or fabric for a long time, just repeatedly, it kind of gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So let's do, let's just do this one. All right, so this one is going to be a lighter color. And so I'm thinking is like when you're, when you're in a chair for a long time, or you're, I'm thinking like the character is in her chair quite often. She's driving all over the galaxy. She's going everywhere. So I could see, this taking, I could see her having a lot of wear and tear on the ship. So maybe something like that. So maybe just like little marks. They're pretty, pretty lighter. There we go. Like that. Granted, I'm doing this with a mouse right now, so I really should be doing this with a tablet, but we do, see what we got for like a particle brush. Maybe I can do something that'll just go just a little bit quicker. Let's try like a sandstorm, see if that'll work. All right, so that's a little bit much. What we could do is add basically a blur to what we just painted. So it's not going to be as obvious. It's not working. There we go. So right click, add filter, and then I'm going to do a blur. So we zoom in, you can see what can affect the blur. So something like that. So it kind of gives us a little more of like a worn out chair. So it works well. Okay. And then maybe the other one, maybe bring the opacity down on some of those coffee stains. So there we go. Let's bring this down maybe a little bit more. Now it's just kind of like barely in there. But yeah, it brings a lot more life to the chair. All right, cool. I like that. All right. Let's add some more stuff in here. Let's do the body. Let's see. I think my mouse battery is running out. Okay. All right, okay, there we go. I may have to pause this and plug in my other mouse. All right, so for the body, I'm kind of thinking, let's see what we got for metal, since this is a starship. So we do have some painted metal, some worn painted metal, some rusty steel, and then we have some rough steel also. Let's start off with, let's just start off with the painted metal. And we'll work with this first. Triplanar. I'm gonna up the scale a bit. Scale up to 2048, see how that looks. Okay, looks good. Okay. All right, just switch that now. I think we're good. Okay. All right, so right now it's just a dark blue. Let's change that up a little bit. I think I'd rather have, let's go to, I think I do like the idea of like a blue, but I kind of want to be a little bit more gray. Let's go with something like that. And for the inside. Let's go with the console now. So I want to do a plastic material. So let's do something kind of matte, maybe a little bit rubbery. Yeah, I think this might be a good place to start. Okay. So that's maybe a bit much. Let's up that to 2048 real quick. Then we go over here. So this is material. So it's basically just a bunch of different materials kind of layered on top of each other. And so what I can do is go to this plastic and change this to a triplanar. And we can up that projection a little bit. It's got a lot of variations and stuff in it. So again, I'm just going to switch all these over to triplanars. And we're going to change all this over so it matches the form a little bit better. I don't like that sharpen, so I'm going to take that off. And make sure this one is back over. Everything to match. It's still looking kind of funky. So actually, maybe we'll just take this out. We'll just kind of maybe build around. So we'll do, let's do like our own plastic. So something like that. Actually, let me start off with a smart material. So let's do let's do this. So I can do a grainy plastic, triplanar it again. And let's scale up a bit more. So something like that I think kind of works. And then we'll do a lighter color. So since we have kind of a grayish blue color going on for a lot of this, kind of earthy with the seats. So let's kind of match that a little bit. Maybe we can look up. Again, let's look at 1990. Yeah, so this is kind of what I'm thinking of. I forgot about the wood paneling. I gotta do wood paneling. So it's got to be almost like a cream color, I guess. So let's change that to a cream. So let's bring this orange, cream, so something like that. And then we need to put some wood paneling in here. So I think probably like right here, we can do some wood paneling. So we'll do another one. Let's see if we can find material for wood. Yeah, we definitely have some wood. So I need to get some, what do I want to do? This wood cherry, this wood walnut. I think the walnut or the cherry would look really good. Let's try that. Oof. Okay. And then what I can do is I can basically use masking to kind of mask out areas that I want the wood to actually show up. So let's do, again, triplanar. And we'll change our scaling up to like a 5. Let's try 10. That might be a bit much. Actually, it's not bad. Okay. So what I need to do is go ahead and put a black mask on here. And then what I can do is just basically just paint it where I want it. So basically just going to kind of nail in. And it's not going to be super clean right now, but I can fix it later. With a better brush at least. We'll do that there. And then let's back it. I feel like a center console will probably have some wood on it. Let's do. I don't know why a spaceship would have wood paneling, but I feel like this needs wood paneling. Like, where would you even get the wood for a spaceship? It's like, oh, no. Makes no sense, but here we are. Okay. All right, so we'll put that there. Come on, save it. Hurry up. And then we can do some more wood paneling right here. So I have only the best. A lot of wood paneling in this. I don't know why I'm doing so much, but here we are. Okay. This is no longer a starship, it is a yacht. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and trim this up a little bit. All right, now I'm painting white, so now I need to switch over to paint black. Switch over my brush to a base card. And I'm going to solo out just the piece that I'm working on. I'm also going to go ahead and change it over to a more graphic view. And so this way I can have a little bit more control over like what I'm actually working on. All right, so I'm going to start my stroke here. Hold down Shift. Or, I'm sorry, click Shift. Go across to see how I can clean it up that way. So I'll just trim it up. Let's do white. Again, I don't have a tablet with me, so it's a little difficult to make sure everything is nice and neatly trimmed. Well, you get the idea. And then we'll go back to black. So first part, second part, so I can kind of just clean that up really well. Click, hold down Shift, click. Very easy to do, very, very easy. And right through here. So clean this up really easy. And clean up some of these lines right here. And you do it under here. I mean, granted, no one's going to see this, but you might as well do a decent job. click, and then click. There we go. Erase some of this right back here. Clean that up. And right here. Get that. Actually, that could be what if I wanted it to be. Let's clean this up just a little bit though. Actually paint out this little seam right here. And then we will paint this back in. There we go. Let's trim that up again back here. It's going to be a little bit of back and forth just simply because of how hard it can be with the mouse. There we go. And I definitely need to kind of clean this up too. So let's do clean that up over there. Looking that around, paint down here. Look better. Okay. So there we go. All this back in. Okay, turn it back on. Um, Now, we could do another dirt if we wanted to. Again, just adding a little bit of wear and tear to the ship. Maybe that might be enough. Just enough to kind of pop out some of the details. Let me see, with it, without it. I'll do another blur. Just so we can just get a little bit of wear on here. Okay. Let's see, take a look back at our thing. We do have a lot of black accents here for like the dials and stuff. So maybe I will actually paint in black on the on this piece right here. And actually, I feel like I need more dials and things, but I can add those in later on. So we're going to go back over to plastic, and let's do plastic. Let's do fake leather. I think that works. Okay. Let's take that off. Let's do the grainy again. Okay. So I basically just need to paint it in right here. So for this one, I'm going to do black mask, and I'm just going to paint it in. Now you'll notice that the wood is coming through. So what you'll want to do is to actually take a mask and paint out the wood. Let's solo just this. Okay. Bring it back down. Into here. So I'll need to go back over to the wood, and I'm going to use a black. So basically go in and you see that's going to get rid of like the normal mapping. So that's exactly what I'm looking for. Actually not. Just enough to where we don't notice this. Okay, that works. Scale it to 4096 and see how this looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Got a little bit of right here. Go ahead. Out. There we go. So just kind of trimming it up. And then I need to go back to the plastic. Basically, just go repaint that back in. So it covers everything. All right, cool. There you go. This. Okay. Oh, this is hard with a mouse. I am hating on this. Oof. But, okay, it's not bad though. So I'm gonna go and save this file while I can. There we go. And I'm just going to start tossing some materials on here that I can work with a little bit later on. So let's do, I'm going to go back to my metal and we're going to hit, maybe we'll do a bronze on here. I'll do back to, maybe do like a accent wood or something for kind of like this. We'll do an accent wood down here. Okay. Well, to be fair, it probably does need to match some of this other stuff. So maybe let's take, now let's go back to the plastics. Let's do, see how this glossy scuff looks. It's not bad. Okay. It works on this one. Work. For the handle, let's do kind of like maybe doing like a black and gold or something. I'll do something like that. So I'm getting some odd smearing right here. You'll see this, but in other places it looks perfectly fine. Let's check the UVs because there could be a UV problem right there. That's it right there. It looks like this is actually sitting outside of the UV space. So let's see if there's something we can do to help us out. Because otherwise I'm going to go back into Maya and redo that UV because I can't move the UVs inside of this program. Which that'd be really nice if I could. That's already triplanar. It's already triplets. Yeah, it's gonna be. Let's see. Okay, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. So that's actually going to need to be fixed. What's going to have to happen is I will need to basically take this model, go back into the UV editor. Yeah, you see it's actually extending past 0 to 1 world space. I just need to recenter it. Okay. It's not going to update because since we've already exported out the model. But what we can do is once I finish with the mesh in Substance Painter, I can just export this back out and repaint it in Substance Painter by itself. So it's something that I can work with. It's just kind of disappointing that I didn't catch that beforehand. So just got to be real careful. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Okay. And as far as I know, I don't think Substance has like an update mesh option. I really wish they did. Like, I just wish they had like an import mesh that I could like add in something in here. I'm just gonna play with this for a second. Let me see if I can do it. I don't think I can. Let's say change it. Let's go and take gear shifter, export selection. Maybe they added that in. No, it's not doing it. Like from here, this import resources, what this is for is if I, basically if I wanted to import in like texture maps or other materials, things like that, I can import them through this way, but it doesn't allow you to import in meshes. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. Anyway. All right, so make sure you have your stuff UV properly first. Let's do a leather. Let's do an artificial leather on you. Honestly, the more I keep adding black to this, the more I like the black against the wood. So maybe I just need to go back over to, where's my console? There it is. Maybe I'm just going to change my cream over to the darker color. So I think I do kind of like it. And it kind of matches everything a little bit more, I guess. Yeah, I kind of dig that. All right, we'll just keep that. Screw it. I mean, it's like, you know, it's my ship. I can do what I want. And let's save that again. Share mount. Give you guys an easy one. That's going to be just do an old, not old, but just a galvanized metal. Should be easy to do. Do a triplanar. Stop it. No, actually, I don't really like that. Let's do grainy iron. Close enough. Honestly, no one's ever going to see this, so it's not even really that important. All right. Key fob. It's going to have some buttons painted on it. Let's go ahead and do a plastic. Let's do a little diamond one. Okay. Let's do metal again for the keys. Let's do a dull kind of yeah, we'll do this. Okay. So that'll be the keys. Put this on here for the ignition. Let's try to come together. All right, I'm going to go and save this. And then I'm going to go and end the video for today because I need to back out. But you can kind of do some other stuff. But you kind of see where I'm going with this. So I will do another video tomorrow when we're in class and just continue with it. And yeah, there you go. All right, if you have any questions, you know where to get me, guys.